Mykola, who is expecting a child, and Nastya, who is also a resident of the Donbas region of Ukraine, are thought to have been among the first eco-settlers to establish a home there. Nastya is a talented artist who enjoys carving wood and sketching. She even creates a wood angel for Mykola, so he can wear it as a charm for protection. Mykola commutes by bicycle to the neighborhood school, where he teaches mathematics, physics, and ecology. The paw of the white raven peace symbol outside their house refers to an old folklore about a raven that felt sorrow for humanity and offered them food and fresh water while losing its feathers, because there aren't any electronics at home. The pair is unaware of any breaking news, until Mykola watches a little television during his break from work, at which point he learns about the demonstrators killed in the capital of Ukraine, and the possibility of a Russian invasion. Ivan, a student, bullies Mykola in class, because he thinks the instructor is strange and weird. However, Mykola never allows Ivan get the better of him, since he values pacifism and striving to mold the minds of young people. Morning 1. Mykola passes by some soldiers, who are stationed beside the road, on his way to work but doesn't pay them any attention. He is astonished to discover the deserted school when he finally gets there, and the television swiftly explains why. Ukraine has been invaded by Russia. Mykola hurries back to his house out of concern for his wife, after recalling the soldiers he had earlier seen, but it is already too late. The Russians are already beating Nastya when she awakens, and they capture Mykola as well. When he tries to protect her, the troops enter the house and light a fire, after making sure they are not spies. However, when Nastya attempts to retaliate by hurling a stone at them, the soldiers do not think twice about shooting her before departing. Mykola, who is devastated, holds onto his wife's body, as he watches his home burn to the ground. After confirming that Mykola is an innocent citizen by checking his identity, 2 Ukrainian militia soldiers come across him hours later, and assist him in preparing a cemetery for Nastya. They transport him to their base next, but not before Mykola makes sure to take the wooden angel with him, as a memento of his wife. The higher-ups at the base are unimpressed by the unexpected presence of a stranger, because they suspect him to be a spy, but Mykola swiftly disproves their suspicions by declaring his intention to enlist in the army and expel the Russians from his native land. Mykola is then sent to a rigorous training program, where he must learn to exhaust his body physically and handle firearms, 2 things that, as a pacifist, he has never done before. He finds it extremely challenging to disassemble and assemble weaponry, which makes him the target of ridicule from his superiors, especially after he reveals his choice of the codename Raven. Mykola refuses to be defeated and works even harder to prepare, staying up late to practice his weapons, while keeping the wood angel close to remind him of his goal, exacting revenge on his wife. A few weeks later, the trainees are informed that the army is in need of volunteers, because there aren't enough snipers at the front. Mykola offers to help right away despite the lack of interest, only to be met with additional jeers. Mykola, who is still determined to succeed, accepts a challenge to demonstrate his abilities. He successfully disassembles and reassembles an AK-47 in under 20 seconds, while wearing a blindfold. They also begin referring to him as Raven, as he requested. Mykola finds the theoretical portion of sniper training to be simple, because of his aptitude in maths and physics, which allows him to perform calculations faster than the instructors. He also does a great job of adhering to the first guideline, which is to remain completely still and silent, even when a teacher fires a gun at the ground close to him. Unfortunately, he does poorly during the real shooting since, for some reason, they gave him a different pistol than the others, one that is inappropriate for sniping in a battle. As soon as Mykola brings this up, he is told to take care of it. Once more, Mykola hatches a strategy to show his abilities and refuses to give up. The final sniper test is conducted at night, and the candidates must fire as soon as the teacher fires a flare, to illuminate the area around their targets. Mykola doesn't shoot just yet. Instead, he uses the light to measure the distance. Once the exam is through, he fires in total darkness and manages to hit the target, precisely in the middle, something no one else has ever done. As a result, Mykola receives the highest grade at graduation, and is put in a first-class unit. Mykola's first mission requires him and his fellow snipers to liberate a crucial checkpoint that the Russians have taken over. Each sniper is given a target, when the team successfully enters the location undetected, but just before they are about to fire, they have to stop the plan, as a car driven by a civilian reaches the checkpoint. When the couple is asked to leave, the Russian soldiers force them to come out and turn in their passports, while refusing to give them back. The Russian soldiers reacted violently to the man's disturbance, as he demanded to have his belongings returned. When Mykola's team realizes this, they launch an urgent assault, killing every soldier with swift, accurate gunfire, including the soldier who attempted to take the civilian woman hostage. The crew hoists the Ukrainian flag when the task is complete, in order to recover control of the checkpoint. When they get back to camp, Mykola learns that his fellow newcomers have departed for a separate mission. Taking advantage of the opportunity, he goes to the school where he used to work. and is profoundly touched by the depressing sight of the dusty classrooms. When the other team returns the following day, Mykola receives the worst possible news: one of his comrades has been killed by an enemy sniper. This is one more justification for Mykola's desire for retribution. In preparation for the upcoming mission, Mykola's crew places a number of bombs on trees and covers them with leaves. Before hiding in the grass and watching for their adversary, Mykola hesitates to fire when the Russian soldiers show up in the woodland as expected, because he sees something unbelievable. Ivan has joined the Russian army and is traveling this way with the rest of their adversaries. When the captain commands him to fire, he snaps out of it, and Mykola hits the detonator, killing all of the Russian soldiers, including Ivan. When the captain asks him what was going on, he replies that Ivan had made his decision. After hearing Mykola's explanation, later, during a break, the captain and Mykola connect through shared sentiments for their hometowns. The captain reveals that he and his wife have an agreement not to disclose to his daughters the nature of his work, so they believe he is on a business trip, and he is carrying a picture of his family with him. In exchange, Mykola displays the wooden angel and explains that it represents his own family. A sniper team positions themselves to wait for the Russian forces about to enter this area. After the Ukrainian forces successfully hold the trenches by the border a few days later, Mykola prepares to do his duties, while carrying the angel with him at all times, but he loses his normal composure when he realizes that among the approaching Russian soldiers is the guy who murdered his wife. Mykola, who is desperate for vengeance, repeatedly asks the captain for authorization to fire, but each time the captain declines, since the adversary is not yet in the proper position. Mykola eventually loses patience and fires anyhow, hitting the soldier but also alerting a covert enemy sniper to their location, who then retaliates by killing the captain. Mykola had to pull the captain's body through the pitch as the Russians opened fire on them, escaping every bomb and bullet. When Mykola returns to the base hours later, his supervisor assures him there will be an inquiry to identify the sniper who killed the captain, and that when they do, they would contact Mykola to take care of him. As a result of his overwhelming guilt, Mykola resolves to focus on solo missions, in an effort to atone for his error. Even though he still has excellent sniper abilities and kills a lot of Russian soldiers, no one is forcing him to be alert, so he ends up taking too many risks, and is shot in the arm by an enemy bullet. Mykola retreats to a covert location to rest and catch up on the news, to learn the latest political developments in the talks with Russia, but he is abruptly interrupted by a crucial call. Mykola must return since it turns out the army has located the sniper who shot the captain. The soldiers are informed with all the information that has been obtained to date before the mission starts. The sniper is known as Sari, and he has already killed 5 Ukrainian snipers and machine gunners with his long-range rounds, making situations worse. To undermine their morale, he films every slaughter and broadcasts the videos online. He even had the temerity to publish the video of their captain's demise. They were able to locate Sari's location, thanks to all these losses, and because they are unable to set mines there, due to a chlorine store in the chemical factory, where the enemy is sheltering, they have devised a different strategy. Their snipers will kill the lower-ranking soldiers, to open a doorway for Mykola to enter and confront Sari. The start of the mission. The Ukrainian snipers set up shop and waited for Mykola to enter the structure. By stumbling across the pitch, the second attacker who still remembers Mykola and tells him he should have killed him the first time is the first soldier he encounters. Mykola gives his teammates the go-ahead to attack. After killing him with one quick and satisfying shot, this causes all of the Ukrainian snipers to fire at once, allowing them to sweep the area without raising any alarms. Sari is one of just 2 remaining Russian snipers. They don't realize there is a problem until they stop getting communications and go to check on their fellow soldiers, only to discover them all dead. Mykola takes advantage of the opportunity to sneak deeper into the structure, while Sari screams for help and orders the other soldier to keep watch before returning to his position and being shocked to discover a small wood angel. At that precise time, Mykola emerges and charges Sari, killing him with a knife as the other Russian soldier is killed by a prepared grenade. The backup Sari requested then shows up at the scene, and Mykola uses Sari's radio to warn the new soldiers that they will be held accountable for their actions. The Ukrainian soldiers begin fire on the Russian truck as soon as it pulls into a parking spot, instantly taking out all of the targets. Mykola chooses to take a vacation and return home to visit Nastia's grave. After exacting revenge on his wife, his comrade, and his captain, he also makes sure to restore the cross that had fallen from its place. Unfortunately, despite how much he longs to return home, he must leave since his country still needs his help. In many more ways, he will soon embark on another single expedition and be prepared to eliminate as many Russian soldiers as is required. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it, to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.